Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. So, have you ever thought about the idea, about the problem why right now, as of 2025, for some unexplainable reason, people actually started needing some help, like some therapy, mental therapy and all these things. Of course, you may have probably thought about this, or maybe you've probably, maybe contemplate this idea. Why right now in 2025 it's become a real case. It's become a really huge problem and pretty worldwide problem. And of course, there may be lots of variables and lots of people may have different opinions. But from my perspective, from videos which I've watched, from people I've talked to, from my own experience, from my maybe some obstacles and mistakes, in this video I actually want to share my true perspective, what I think is the true reason why, as of 2025, April 2025, people do need maybe more therapy, more some sessions, therapy sessions than they used to. Because 20 years ago it wasn't the case at all. Maybe there were some people actually needing help at the extent that they do now, but it wasn't so extensive and it wasn't so big like it is right now. Actually, in my opinion, of course, it's just my honest opinion, you may have different perspectives, but in my opinion, this is the true reason. Smartphones. And of course, it may sound a little bit maybe obvious, or it may sound a little bit, lots of people talk about the same idea, but just think about that. Just think about that. 20 years ago, people were not able at all to compare themselves to other people. Like, if you maybe, I don't know, when you worked in a company, or when you had some projects, or when you had some friends, the only possible people you could compare yourself with was your either neighbors, or your colleagues, or maybe some neighbors living next door, or some friends, colleagues, wherever, actually living in the vicinity of your place. But right now, it's not only people who live, let's say, in your district you can compare yourself with, but there's also people living, let's say, thousands of kilometers away from you. Because of what? Because you have this straight access to either Instagram or YouTube or all these things. And actually, guys, people have always been the same. Like 1,000 years ago, 50 years ago, 100 years ago. But given the fact that people did not have all these technological, things, smartphones, tablets, laptops, they couldn't actually do all these things that we do right now. Comparing yourself, being jealous, envy other people, etc. Actually, if people had all those, technological breakthroughs, I guess people would have acted differently, not in the way they did. But well, that's the way it is right now. This is what happens right now. And yeah, going back to the topic of this video, and the main idea of why right now I'm sitting right here and making this and recording this video, is that just want to tell you is that, of course, on the one hand, we can all say that, it's because of smartphones and you got to do something. But, given the fact that it's the reality in which we live, you cannot actually get rid of this device and, start living without this. Because all your life, all your projects, all your, I don't know, some things, side hustle, whatever, is fully connected to smartphone. Either some chats, videos, messages. Actually, you get in touch with people, you interact with them pretty much digitally. And it doesn't look in a way it did anymore, which is why right now it's imperative. It's really imperative to be able to balance, to navigate yourself through this system. And like what I'm saying is that actually, of course, it does require some time. If you are at the age of 18, 20, in your early 20s, of course, it may seem to be really difficult to take in this information, to comprehend this, but by going through some difficulties and obstacles, people gradually come to this realization. And actually, the point of me actually telling you this right now is that maybe some of you guys in your maybe early 20s, or even at the age of 18, 19, whatever, once you start thinking about this, maybe you may find something interesting here, and I hope so. You have to teach yourself to learn the idea how to balance this, because once again it's the reality. You will not be able to get away with this. You will not be able to not living in this reality. It's like right now living without smartphone seems to be completely ridiculous, and you will be like a pariah, like an outcast, and you will not be able to live in this world, because the whole world is actually connected with all these digital devices. You know, booking something, signing in, you know, signing some documents, signing up for some courses, you know, buying flight tickets, traveling, interacting with your clients, whatever job you have or some projects. Yeah, it's the reality, which is why, in my opinion, of course, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, but I guess at a less extent, primarily Instagram and TikTok, because these are the platforms which project all this luxury life, all these people showing you cars, money, girls, like 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, as we call them. And people actually cannot resist. They're extremely tempted to watch this, to compare themselves, and just think about that. While you're scrolling this stuff, this is where it comes. My idea is that, and since you know, I've told you guys a couple of times that apart from this channel, I have my main YouTube channel regarding teaching English. And frankly, since I started this activity in February 2023, and since then, I like my brain and my way of thinking has kind of transformed in a way that right now I'm occupying the side of content creators, not consumers. And it's really the case. Right now, of course, I have TikTok, I have Instagram, I have some other platforms which are used by me purely for the reason of uploading my videos. Of course, I'm not going to deny this. You know, I'm completely transparent. Of course, I spend maybe some time, we can call it waste my time, but anyway, 5 or 10 minutes a day in order to scroll something, just to maybe, I always say it or tell this myself, that I usually do it for the purpose of actually keeping track of what's going on here right now out there on Instagram or TikTok. You know, some trends, some people showing something, and you actually need to be in this loop, in this environment, in order to maybe be able to come up with some ideas so that it will be easier. Because yeah, trends, they vary from time to time, and without looking at this, without being in this environment, it seems a little bit difficult to to see what is popular or pretty interesting right now. And yeah, for this reason, for example, for my English videos, for something, in order to see what's right now is pretty, maybe there are some viral things, you know, or maybe some memes or something, maybe some news which people try to play in their videos. Yeah, but in reality, people working regular jobs, people, I don't know, most people, like 99%, unfortunately, they spend the majority of their time, and you know, even recently I've seen a video which showed some survey which was made, let's say, some time ago, showing how much time people spend in their smartphone. Because actually on your iPhone you can see your screen time in settings, and most people just do not want to go there, because they will realize that it's going to show them 6 or 7 hours a day, which is, I'm not going to swear, but it's a tremendous amount of time. Just think about that, 6 or 7 hours a day if you spend. And going back to the main idea of this video, not only do you waste your time, but also you actually dig yourself deeper and deeper, deeper and deeper with every single scroll, up or down. Again, the true reason, whether you watch some, you know, Andrew Huberman or Ali Abdaal or some podcast, The Diary of CEO, you know, with million subscribers, there are lots of guests, people about this, and people have different perspectives, but the overall opinion, you know, by analyzing all this data, by analyzing my experience, by analyzing people I talk to, the true reason for people needing more therapy help than they used to is actually your smartphone. That's the point. Once you use this, or I wouldn't say once, if you use this inappropriately, if you use it in order to like see other people's lives, compare yourself, if you are not able to process this information properly, you know, for your sake, for the sake of your personal growth or something, it will actually, not only will it make you extremely frustrated, but it will make you anxious, it will make you jealous, because again, it's been always been the case, just 100%, even 200 years ago. But back then, people could not compare themselves to other people. That's the true reason. Again, if people back then had the option to compare themselves to other people, they would have acted the same way we do right now. I mean, in 2025. People always wanted to be better than other people, but back then, again, the only possible people you could be better was your neighbors, or at least people living in your vicinity, let's say in your district, or let's say in some place you live in. It can be countryside, it can be town, city, it doesn't matter. And of course, it's like one thing to compare yourself to maybe 500 people, you know, in your district, wherever, neighborhood. But it's a completely different, you know, idea to compare yourself with billions of people living on this planet. Again, it doesn't matter how much you earn. It doesn't matter which, you know, how well-paid job you have. There will be always people having more beautiful girls, having more maybe respect, having better cars, having better equipment, you know, microphone, whatever, all these things. Which is why I guess the recipe for a really happy life, just in general, really, it's a pretty simple one. First, not compare yourself to other people. Compare yourself only with who you were yesterday, and this is the truth. Minimize the time you scroll up and down in your iPhone or Samsung, wherever, Instagram, TikTok. Minimize the time. Try to target and focus all your energy towards learning something, just educating yourself. Stop comparing yourself to other people. It makes absolutely no sense. You may, like, in a positive sense, in a positive manner, compare yourself to your friends, maybe to people you know, let's say, with whom you go to the gym, you know, people you actually interact in your life. Because it's like it sometimes may prompt you to maybe to make more efforts, to achieve high results. Yeah, it does work if used correctly. It's like, you know, if it's in small doses, it's like it may be a boost to your personal growth. It can foster your personal growth. But if used inappropriately and you are overloaded by all these people living out there in different countries, having all these luxurious things, it will be extremely toxic and yeah, it will be extremely toxic. And just 100%. It doesn't matter how successful you are, how much money you get or earn, whatever. You will never ever be able to get away with using this Instagram or TikTok for the sake of comparing. You will always face all these mental issues, which is why, again, this is the true reason, in my opinion, why people right now, as of 2025, need lots of therapy online, offline, wherever. And that's why there are lots of websites, you know, betterhelp.com and all these things with therapists. The more people anxious, or the more people become anxious, the more there will be therapists and people in this industry. And of course, it's a like multi-billion dollars industry, and probably, unfortunately for me and unfortunately for other people, you know, who I want to be better, I guess it's going to grow. Because even though it seems to be pretty obvious, and even though it seems to be pretty clear and transparent how you can navigate yourself through these things, and you know, the blueprint of how it can be done is pretty simple, lots of people, you know, may actually seem not to understand this. Not even seem, they do not understand this. This is like what I see. This is the reason of why this industry is growing once again. Of course, you know, on paper, theoretically, you know, all people need to stop using their Instagram and TikTok for comparing themselves. For, you know, all people have to become content creators, make videos, but it's not the way it works. Unfortunately, yeah, that's the way it is. I guess, guys, that will do for this video. I hope you found something interesting from this video. Once again, the bottom line is minimize the time you use your smartphone, whatever model you have. Try to target your time towards creating content. Stop comparing yourself to other people. The only person you have to compare yourself with is you, who were you yesterday. That's the true point. Okay guys, so that will do for this video. Once again, I hope you found this video pretty interesting. If you did, don't forget to subscribe on this channel and give me a thumbs up. And of course, I will be looking forward to your comments in the section down below. Maybe if you have some similar stories, similar perspectives, maybe you have some similar advices, or maybe some things you want to share with me and people watching this video, just drop me a comment in the section down below, and see you guys in our next video. Bye.